two beautiful ladies that love be called girls. I don't know why. But I'm having Mrs. Abiba Omezie. She's a career wife and she's a entrepreneur. Then also with her, we have Mrs. Elizabeth Ashaolu, also a career wife and an entrepreneur. You are welcome to the sitting with Goke. Okay, this conversation with Goke, and we're going to be talking basically 2 or 3 things that has to do with you as ladies, or you as girls, then ladies, then women, and then the business side of it. You're welcome.
Thank you.
First and foremost, let me start with Mrs. Abiba. Of course, you are married. Can you give us a little snippet into how you met Oga? What happened? What's the story behind it? Quickly.
Okay, we met on the 8th of November 2012.
Okay.
I just lost my mom, so I was not feeling too well, and people were concerned. I was depressed and all. So they asked me to go to the hospital. So when I got there at around 4, with my mom, I usually see all these older doctors. So he was not on ground. So I now started ranting, in the hospital because it's a family hospital, so they know that there's no doctor around, all those shouts. So I angrily left with my driver. So I was done with what I was doing. My driver brought me back forcefully. Then he was around. I entered. He thought I was obviously outside. It was that Boko Haram time, so we're always wearing
hijab and all that. Okay.
Then when he saw my file, he saw Patricia Fejoko, my mom's name, and I was obviously covered. So he kept saying that this is not your file. I said, it's my file. So I said, open it. And I saw her. He said, where are you from? I said, my dad is Fulani, my mom is Delta, and he is from Delta State.
Okay. So that's how it is. Okay. So who popped the question first?
Of course
he did. Yeah. When I mean who popped the question first, is it kind of like you made him feel, you're smashing, or he just felt?
Well, I was in a morning stage.
Okay, so it's more
ready for, but he was
the one that was making everything. Okay. The same question, Mrs. Elizabeth. I know you are married. Okay, so let me start from the second question. Then I go to the first. Who popped the question first?
Of course, it's the
he did. But he popped the question first.
Yeah.
Okay, was it just like I asked her? Was it I'm available kind of a thing, or that was like wow?
It was wow. Yes.
Okay.
It was wow.
Okay. So what's the story behind it?
Well, it's an interesting story.
Okay.
I cannot remember the exact date but I know it was in February 2008.
Okay.
Let me start from where it happened. A puppy beat my younger brother in our house in Abuja.
Okay.
And then they needed to get in touch with the former owner of the dog, and the vet doctor of the dog.
Okay.
To be sure the dog had taken all necessary precaution, and all. So my mom now spoke to the owner, the older owner, or the former owner, and then the former owner got in touch with the vet doctor. Yeah. The vet doctor who was taking care of the dog. So he needed to know all the precaution and everything. And then the person who is now my husband walked into the house where we were. As he knocked on the door, I don't know, somehow that day was the first time I was actually ever going to work.
Okay.
While I was there, while at the gate, he just greeted me like, good morning, ma. So I laughed. I'm sure you think I am maybe the wife of the man who you came to see. So that's just basically, we needed to get to know what happened, what have been done about the people.
So as they always say, that's how we started.
Yeah.
History. Okay. That's nice. Okay, so you people have married 2008, that's roughly 14 years.
No, we met 2008, married 2009.
Okay, 2009. So that's roughly 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. 2003.
Sorry, 2013.
Okay, 2013. Roughly 8 years. Okay. So that's a good place to answer my next question. So how's it been like? Ups and downs. For better, for worse. Okay, for better, we don't normally talk about the better. So let's talk about the worse. When he comes home and did something very, I don't say nasty or very funny. Okay, so how do you solve those issues? Starting from you, Mrs. Elizabeth.
Okay, how do we solve?
Yeah, how do you solve those issues? He comes back home and is, I don't want to say, let me just say, it's acting funny. Yeah, acting funny.
Acting funny could be relative, one.
Yeah.
And if you say acting funny, like he comes back, he's not just talking always.
Yeah,
he
he's
had
not just
issues before he
talking.
went out.
He's not just talking. You had issues before you go, and he's still on that issue.
Okay.
And all that.
One of the ways, when you know who you're married to, you will know how best to manage the person. He is one person that I know that in the heat of the moment, there's nothing you say that will enter him.
Okay.
Honestly, so usually I will just wait for some time, and that point where he thinks everything, and you men, how you behave, what gets to us might not get to you people. So at that point where he is even thinking that it's all over and he wants to move on with his life, is when I will now decide to start, honestly speaking, my own part. Not malice, but I will now keep my face somehow, be looking like a dejected child. I'll be staring at one corner of the room, and he doesn't like it when I stay that way. Another thing is to put my hand on my face as if I'm thinking, and he will now be like, what is wrong? So that's the opportunity I will now use to say, have you forgotten that you did something before you left? Then we'll continue from there.
Okay. So how does it be? He came back home acting all funny, either from issues past, not solved, or trying to be on his own space.
Okay, well, I'm a very expressive and emotional person. So when he's like that, I usually ask, what's wrong? What's wrong? And usually he can say nothing. You know how men can be like, they don't want to talk
How
about
men
it.
can be.
Yes,
wow.
Immediately. Yes.
Okay.
So I am in the heat kind of person. I
Yeah.
want, if something happens,
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
I don't know how to carry grudge, or if I love someone and we're not in good terms, it usually spoils my day. Like if I really love you,
Yeah.
so I try to get him to talk. Then we usually talk things out. But when he doesn't want to talk, when he now wants to say, maybe 2 days later, it can be like that. He's dead. I open fire. I actually open fire because
Fire.
I'm either 0 or 100. So when I'm at that 0, that is emotional, calm, wanting to ease whatever is your problem, and you throw me out or push me away. When you now want to talk, I'll now show you that you threw me.
-0.
Yes.
Okay, but the two of you made a statement. Men have suffered. What do you mean by men? What exactly are you insinuating when you say men? She said men. You said men. What do we do? What is it that we are doing that made this statement? Make you ladies make this statement? Men.
Well, you men can be egoistic. And you like egoistic, and also you're good at being babies than the actual babies. So you love being baby. You want somebody to pull you to keep. But for God's sake, you're grown men. You are adults. So, and this life, no time. So there's no time to start saying what's wrong. It's either you talk or you move on.
Okay.
So, and you guys like it when we rub, we massage. That's
massage our egos and all that.
And we are mothers, we are wives, we are career women.
But that's why you are mothers.
We are career women.
To massage us.
But you had a mother now, or you have. Let your mommy be your mommy.
Okay, I'll let you be my wife. Okay, so I like that.
And it's just in addition. If the number one thing is your ego, in a way, I don't blame them. That's how they are wired.
Okay. That's how they are wired. Yeah. I was coming to that.
Animals are like that.
Yeah.
But then you people should work on it, but you don't. A whole lot of time. But honestly, I know that the Christians, or let me just say some Christians, because not all Christian men push ego aside.
Okay.
But if you're able to manage it with the grace of God and the fruits of the Spirit, it's easier. But when you keep that egoistic thing, in fact, that's too big to say sorry. I'm the man here. I'm this, and then you said we are mothers, so we should. We have the children. We are.
And we are part of the children too now.
No,
you should father us too.
Okay.
So, but we are,
Okay.
that's just basically, but basically, is that ego thing? It's an issue.
So men, ego, ego. I don't know. Ego. Okay. Because if you don't have ego and you don't have ego, and you have ego and you don't have ego, what makes you angry at home? For the young ladies, young mothers, young women, let them learn. What makes you angry as a wife? What makes you angry as a person?
Well, what makes me angry has a lot of twists and turns to it.
Okay. Well, just give us the basic things.
Okay, as a person or as yes,
Yes, as a
as
wife
a
first.
wife,
Yeah.
what makes me angry? There's so many things that can make one angry, so I cannot just tell you one thing.
Okay.
But ambience of my home is one thing I don't do. If you know me, you know
Yeah.
my ambience.
I like
Then
that.
when the husband is not helping you
Okay.
maintain that, you know how you guys men can be. I'm still using that word.
Women.
Men.
Okay.
You come home, you can just your bag, you keep it
Anywhere.
on the dining, or you keep it on the chair, a chair that is not it's just for human beings to sit on, but you keep your clothes, your boxers, you put it somewhere.
Okay.
Ambience has been distorted. That
Okay.
God knows
Will make you angry.
gets to me, gets under my skin.
Okay. So what makes you angry as a wife?
Not paying attention to what I'm saying.
Not paying
Listening.
attention.
So
But
even
what about if
as
you are
a
saying
person,
it when he's doing something else? He's
I
watching football.
expect you should create time
Time.
for
Okay.
me.
Okay.
It's a love language.
Yeah,
You
it's
should
a love
create
language.
time for me.
Okay.
And I also feel that, well, I create time for you,
Okay.
no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If you hold something there,
Of course, you
you
should
will create time for
it.
no matter what.
Okay.
Especially because listening will help you know how to help me or to solve whatever problem or it is that I have brought to you.
Okay. So, that's about marriage. By the grace of God, at least you people are 6 years and above. 6, I think, 13, if I'm not mistaken. Above in marriage, and men, ego. Okay. I think men are hearing that. They would really work on it. Because I've had to talk to so many people and they're talking about ego and men. And the men are saying women and pride. Wow. I think we have to come to that. Okay. I know you people are professional people. You have a career, working in your different places, and you are businesswomen, CEOs, having a little something by the side. Now we're going to talk about that because we're now in a time when you can't just be working and think that is all about life. Our parents did that. They were strictly on their professional life. They worked strictly on that and they enjoyed it while working. But nowadays, you need to have a side something. Either for passion or for the money, you need to have something by the side that's going to help you. And I know the two of you are entrepreneurs. So what inspired you to start that? Is it all about the cash? Or is that an inspiration from something else? Somehow, what inspired you to start the business you're in? And then tell us, what business are you doing? Showcase yourself.
For me, I honestly started my what I call empire because I know I'm getting there.
Okay.
Started with by selling bed sheets, bedspreads, and if you ask me what inspired me with bed sheets was the colors.
Okay.
I don't like shouting colors anyway,
No.
but I like when you enter my bedroom, let my bedroom be calling you.
Yeah.
After I had this work, after I had this work, let me come back to beautiful dreams. And that was how I got the name.
Okay.
I started. Honestly speaking, I didn't even want to do it as a business. I've never really been a business minded person. I was just interested in working. I didn't mind telling somebody yes sir in the morning. I was okay with that. But with time I just felt okay, why not convert your passion to money? So that was how there are other things I do, but it basically started from selling bedspreads. Yes,
And
bedspreads.
then from there you're growing into other things.
Yeah, growing into other things. And the driving force apart from passion is I want to be a woman with her own money. I don't
Okay.
want to depend on any man,
Okay.
husband or whoever. I don't want to depend on anybody. Let
Okay.
me be able to do things I want to do on my own terms.
Okay.
And I don't want it to get to a point where, because eventualities of life happen, because
Okay.
life will always happen,
Yeah, sure.
and I'll have to be trying to fall back to anybody.
To anybody, yeah.
And that's why we always encourage people out there, no matter what, have your
Start
own
something.
side.
Okay. So, ma, what inspired you and what are you into?
Well, what actually inspired me, apart from someone,
Yeah.
was the fact that I love to dress really nice.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm someone that when you see me, you cannot forget me. You always remember the woman first and the
Okay.
dress.
And the dress.
So, and I hate it when I see people not well put together.
Okay.
So I decided to start a styling brand
Okay.
where you can call me to style you for your birthdays, your weddings, wedding, get any outing that you're having, or you want to do a really elaborate photo shoot, because photo shoots are the in thing
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Then apart from the fact that I love to put clothes together, there's this thing when a woman with her money is powerful. You don't have
Sure.
to wait for a man to give you this, or like you want to buy Maggie, you now start to call
All him.
him. You get that the fashion is first the clothes, then the fact that you want to be independent, irrespective of the cover you have. That's your husband. So that's it.
Okay. I have an understanding that it's more a passion first, then you want to be independent. Okay. Not because you don't have a respect for your cover, but because you want to be independent. Just like you said, in case of any eventualities of life, you have something to bounce on. Now, what are the interruptions between your job, your business now, and your marriages? Is there any interruption? Is it two go along together, or maybe you're trying to run up a business, the children are there, the baby man is there, and all that? So, what are the interruptions? Is there any interruptions?
Sorry, I think I need to understand your
Okay,
question.
like being a mother and being a CEO of an empire, just like you said, it's your business. You need to run around for it. Is there any interruption between your marriage, or let me say your motherhood, being a mother, and your business? And what are the interruptions, and how do you undo those interruptions?
Okay, interruption now you mean maybe how.
For example, you're supposed to be at home, and maybe when somebody's calling you, I need some supplies of bed sheet or whatever, and you know you need to go and drop those bed sheet because it's a high network clientele. So
Okay.
interruptions like
The
that.
first thing we ought to do, or I always ensure I do, is put your home in order first.
Okay.
What you need to do before you leave the house, for example, do it.
Okay.
What you need to put in place, even if you have domestic staff,
Yeah.
give them instructions, ensure they get your instructions. But even the ones you can do before you leave, such that whatever domestic staff will do
They
will
do it.
be
Okay.
will be easy
Minimal.
and easy to carry
Okay.
out. So that's just basically it. And planning an organization helps a lot.
Okay. So styling, marriage, you need to wake up sometime to style somebody for a wedding. So what are the interruptions?
How I deal with interruptions first, like she said, it's very good to have an organized system of running your home.
Yeah.
Everything should be organized. You don't wait for the said interruptions. You don't wait for emergencies. You have to put things first, as in program yourself like that as a wife, as a mom, as a career person. That in business, it's called business continuity.
Okay.
Like, can your home run
While your
with-
business is
or
running
your
too.
business without you? So you do that. Then another thing is that I think God blessed us with supportive spouses.
Okay.
So there are some times that you're in the middle of being a wife and a mother, that something will come up and you really need to attend to that. Then that is where your husband now takes as in steps
Takes
in
charge, okay.
for you. So a supportive spouse also enables us to.
Okay. So, in essence, the interruptions are, even if they come, there's a ready-made solution to it. Either being organizing your house, or from your supportive spouses.
Yes.
Okay. Now, before we got married, we were into relationships. And that's why I said things in between. Now we see a lot of relationships. In fact, a lot of marriages that looks as if, did these people actually dated? Did they date? Did they go on a courtship? You understand? Because so many things, you know. I've witnessed weddings, marriages that they didn't last. They didn't last. Let me just use the word, they didn't last. So what was wrong? What do you think was wrong? Is it that it's a bad courtship? And then what are young people, when I listen to people talk about their relationships and what they say, it's all about, he took me there, we went there, he did this, he did that. And I always ask them, did you guys talk about marriage? Or you're not talking about wedding? I think they are two different things entirely. Yes, two of them are important, but they're two different things. What's your advice for the younger people, the younger generation? During courtship, what are they supposed to be talking about? Or dating, as they put it. What are they supposed to be talking about?
I think the younger people should take their time to know each other. Temperament is very important. Knowing who is like this. There's a book, Why We Act the Way We Do by Tim LaHaye.
Yeah.
Yes. I think every couple
Okay.
should read that. You should know your okay, let me say your boyfriend's temperament, your girlfriend's temperament, then talk about the marriage itself, not doing. Where do we see us in so years? Talk about children, there's what we do. We call it emergency funds. Talk about, okay, how we are going to set aside emergency funds in case of, rainy days. It's not all about going to Domino's, going to where's the other Cold Stone, Chicken Republic, all those things. There is life after that wedding. For me, I used to tell myself or anybody gets married, if I know what I know now, if I'd known then what I know now, the wedding I had, I wouldn't have had that kind of wedding. You understand?
Okay.
I would have just done, okay, the priest should bless us then. If an intimate dinner of our very few close friends.
You won't have
To your
spent.
tent, O Israel.
You won't have spent the monies.
Yes, we wouldn't have spent because we're a young couple, coming up, Most couples now, they do the wedding and go into debt. Am I wrong? They go into debt, and being in debt strains the
first 2 years.
Beautiful relationship that they had outside the marriage, because money is an issue in homes, honestly, and with the way our economy is. So I believe they should talk about all that. How many kids they were, not just about the dating for social media posting, oh, he took me to Dubai. And some of them borrow to actually go to these Maldives, to buy. Like, I think our young couples should, concentrate on life after
wedding.
the wedding, not just the enjoyment stage.
Okay.
Yes.
So, any suggestion, any addition to what she said?
Yeah. Honestly speaking, money is a major issue in marriages.
Okay.
It's a major issue, how the spending is done.
Okay.
And remember, there are two different people.
Yeah.
Of course, they can never be the same. The way I spend my money may not be the way he wants to spend his money. He might be extravagant, I am not, or I might be extravagant, he is not. We may not even be extravagant, but I like the things of life. Let me live in the moment and enjoy myself.
Yeah.
But he may now feel, no, why don't we save for the rainy day? And you see, that clash now comes in. Okay. And another problem too is you might be earning differently. It's not even might. Most times you people are earning differently.
Yeah.
One is more. He might be self-employed or she is self-employed. It's like that. Even if they are both in the oil sector.
Okay.
The salary can still not be the same.
Yeah.
So you have to draw a line, know what is excess. We should decide, okay, yes, this is the point we get to, and we know that even a bottle of granite should not be spent at a particular time because we have school fees to pay. I'm just trying to come to the very mundane things that may seem small, but it's something that we must really take seriously so that we don't have that issue. And as a dating couple, before even the marriage, part of what we could also look at is the children. Yes, the children. what's their own plan on discipline? Because these are some of the things that cause problem along the line.
Yeah.
How do you discipline children? How do you treat them when you want to do certain things? Do you get?
Yeah.
When they do something bad, how do you do it? How do you treat them?
Okay.
Basically, like that. Now, what if I'm the person who likes to flog them till they cry to sleep and he doesn't like it? At that point, it now becomes our fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Children
Not what
did.
the children did,
Yeah.
So these are just some of the things we need to look at. It's very extensive, honestly.
Okay.
But those are some of the things they should look at. And of course, the number one thing, the God factor.
Yeah.
If that person loves God, a lot of things will be covered.
Yeah. And I think that is actually going to be our last talk, because when I look at those marriages, I found out like there is an emptiness of God in it. It's not about going to church. It's not about you met in the fellowship. It's not about she's a church member. No. So when I look at it, I found out that they've been living their lives by themselves. So what is the importance that should be? I know people should know this, but then what should be the importance that should be attaching God to your marriage? What should be the importance?
You mean the importance?
Yeah, what space should we give God in our relationship? Most of those things are causing issues. Most of them, if not all, is because we forget there is God inside these things. We feel it's all about the money I make, the money she makes. It's all about enjoying ourselves. The sex is good. The guy is smashing. The girl is sexy. There's a place of God inside all. Where should be the space of God in marriages?
God should be everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything in the marriage, yes. But then, in anything you do in this life, as far as there's God somewhere seeing you, it helps your decisions, honestly speaking. And that's what personally for me has, even when I needed to take some decisions, or maybe rash or not rash, I remember the God factor, and I mellowed. Let me use the word mellow. Yes, okay. You back down. If you decide to put God first in what you do, even in cases where you think you should react, I'm giving you an example now. You will be asking, what will God think of me?
Yeah.
What will Jesus say? How will he see me?
See you.
I'm not seeing it in the fact that we should be scared of God. He's loving, no.
Oh, yeah,
He's loving, but we still need to have that fear behind us. And honestly, it will help in a lot of things, in your dealings with yourself, even with yourself.
Yeah.
Even with yourself, knowing that yes, you are loved by God, you love, yes.
Looking at you.
Even with yourself, with your kids, even in managing the finances, in a lot of things. So that's why I said God is in everything.
Okay.
Once you just love him, he's there with you and he's behind you to guide you.
Okay. So she has said God should be in everything. Now, the truth of the matter is people don't seem to understand what she just said. People don't seem to understand. Yes, we got married in church, we got married in whatever place we got married in, but people don't understand there should be a space. In fact, not just a space. We should be all in him. Okay? And that's majorly the essence of all these things. He was the one that initiated marriage in the first place. But how come people are getting married and leaving him out of what he initiated? Just like you have your business now. Somebody one day will come and say, let's lock CEO's office. She cannot come in. Meanwhile, she was the one that established this business that we are collecting salaries for. But you just decided that let's lock him out. Or let's lock her out. She's not supposed to be there. So why are people locking God out from what he initiated? What do you think, and what's the solution do you think you can offer to them?
I think the mistake that people make, or young couples make, is the fact that they forget God too quickly.
Okay.
And God is the basis, he's the beginning, he's the end, he's the center of everything. In fact, you yourself, you are made in the image
of God
and likeness of God. So it's a very big blunder when you leave God out of everything, because the moment you take God out, things start falling apart. Yes, and you won't like it. So I think, number one, ensure that you and the person you're with are very, very God-fearing. I think that's the starting point. When he or she or the couple God is the center of their everything first, even before they met each other. I think that would at least reduce the problems, because life is full of ups and downs and no two people are perfect. So I think God should not be left out from the very beginning.
Sorry, just before we end,
Okay.
I think one of the things too that we must do, even though you didn't mention it in a question, but we must learn to love ourselves as women. Love yourself of yourself, not because of a man, not because of anybody, for yourself. Once you love yourself, you will do anything.
Okay.
When you always love and think of yourself.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having
this
us.
sitting, for this conversation. And we've all heard what they said. Marriage is something that God has given unto us. And then you can still be married and have your career going. It's all about balancing the two. Of course, interruptions will come, but make sure you have a solution. You cannot have your business alone. Your spouse should be part of it. That's why their spouses could leave them to do their business, because they're going to hold onto the house and make things go the way they are supposed to go. Love yourself, not just as your neighbor. You have to love yourself first before you can love your neighbor. I think that's where we are missing it. Okay, love yourself first. Yes, you married your husband because you loved him, but if you don't love yourself first, no matter the love you're trying to give, you cannot even give the love if you don't love yourself. That's actually the truth of the matter. You have to love yourself first before you can love your spouse. Yes. Because you can't give what you don't have. Thank you. We'll be back again. Thank you very much for this.